This is Jake the Snake Roberts, and I'm here to talk to you about Rampage. Maxi pads. What'd you all pay me to do? That's right. This is Total Spotfest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And welcome back to Total Spot Fest. I am JJ Brownlee, partnered in crime by Mr. Jamie Faulkner, as I am every time.
Or Jake the Snake.
We didn't pay you for 2 bits,
Oh.
Jake, so thank you for...
Shit.
Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. This is Total Spot Fest. This is our AEW show for the week. We're going to talk about Dynamite. The Dynamite in high anticipation for Rampage. Let's put it that way.
Well said.
That's what it felt like. Spoiler. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about it. We're also going to talk about what may be one of the last of the dying breed of NXT shows. There's some news on that front, some stuff going on, so we'll get into it all. We got some updates, though, we're going to talk about with Journey Pro to start off with. But before I do, as I always say, we do appreciate you guys listening or watching. If you're on YouTube and you want to join the conversation, just drop a comment down below. Please, while you're there, like, subscribe, all the things. It does help us out, like I always say. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast channel, supplier, provider, I don't know what the right terminology is. Host. How about that? Is that it? Host? Whatever.
Host with the most.
Anywhere else you're listening to us, if you want to give us a shout, it's at Total Spot Fest on Twitter. So, words are hard. I'm still reeling from yesterday being out of power for 12 hours. Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking the one area of Kansas City that got nailed by like a microburst or something. My entire neighborhood was just like demolished. Everybody out of power all day long. Everyone else is like, "Oh no, we're great. No, it barely rained here," and I'm just like, "Screw you guys."
Yeah, I was fine. That was great. That was good.
Well, it wasn't 100 degrees like it was today though. Thank God for that. Because. All right, so let's talk about Journey Pro here. Journey Pro, as we mentioned last time, did announce their next show coming up on the 28th of August. It's a Saturday. It's a day show. It starts at 1. It's an outside venue, Lemonade Park over in the West Bottoms, over by the old Kemper Arena. What is it, Hy-Vee Arena now?
Hy-Vee Arena, yes.
Yeah, sure. Great.
It's not used, but it's still called Hy-Vee Arena.
Well, no, they used it. They were using it for like a youth rec center of sorts, right?
Don't know. Sure.
Anyway, I saw a thing on the news like 2 years ago, but that was before COVID, so God knows what it is.
Yeah. It's a den for villainy and scum.
It is a place that is very nice, but then again, it is also a place that is very evil. So
Very nice. Very evil.
very nice. They sell spicy water. Too spicy water. Okay, enough Danhausen references. Let's talk about Journey Pro. So more announcements made on that for the upcoming show, Jamie.
Yes, so they announced another match, so we are officially up to, I believe, 4 matches now.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so we've already announced the main event of the Seidel brothers, who were on Dynamite against the besties in the world. Cannot wait for that one, period. Yeah, if you don't know the besties, look them up on YouTube. They have a whole thing for how they come out, because they came out to Truly Madly Deeply, which I play at my house on the regular, and I've got all my daughters, except for Megan, the champion of champions. She still refuses to do it.
That's because she's hashtag not my champion.
Well,
so.
You get 2 weeks. You could take 2 belts from her.
I plan on taking at least 1, if not 2 belts from her.
Good luck. All right, so the next is Stallion Rogers versus Jeremy Wyatt. We already talked about that. That's the first time ever. Stallion Rogers is the artist formerly known as Kurt Lone Star Stallion. He was in NXT, but WWE sucks and has legal rights over his own real name. So F them.
Some shit.
Then we have Sugar Dunkerton going against Everett Connors, which is going to
Pineapple
be...
Pete, I hate that guy.
Yeah, Pineapple Pete. Then the one that got announced yesterday, the 11th, was
This
Thumbs
is a
and
surprise. I
Buns.
must say, this surprised me when it got announced.
Yeah, another tag team match of Thumbs and Buns versus the Howlets. That is Hoodie Howlett and Anaya. The Howlets are back together, baby.
That freaking Howlets are back as a tag. Oh my! That surprised the shit out of me.
They're gonna
Not
come out to El
because
Chapo.
I mean, Anaya came and helped out Hoodie at the end of his match, right?
Yeah.
Last time, so not a big surprise necessarily, but still, I thought that they were definitely going as singles competitors moving forward. So
Maybe this
Cool.
This might be a little bit of long-term booking because of how that ended up with Anaya and Hoodie. Trying to beat up Christian Rose, and then Gary J came out to eventually have a Gary J Christian Rose versus the Howlets.
Yeah, and speaking of long-term booking, this is the epitome of long-term booking because it started before the world shut down.
Yeah.
So not the intention, I know, of course, but his whole last match was against Gary J and then everything like that.
Yeah, Hoodie's Twitter handle is last match, Hoodie Howlett.
It's great. Love me some Hoodie Howlett. Love me some Anaya. I think we loved them together. We saw them in NWL as the Howlets, and they were great then. And seeing them individually has been great too. But it's just kind of I'm like, yes, the Howlets. It's like, yes, I love this. So
Yeah, it makes my heart happy because I've professed my love for Hoodie's just raw ass demeanor and his style. Anaya's in that same ilk. I love me some Anaya, like both of them together.
have you seen Anaya's T-shirt he has?
No.
I think you can get it on fully gimmicked. I'm not
Fully
100%
gimmicked?
sure.
Okay.
But he's got pictures of him wearing it. It's a Jack Daniels label ripoff.
Perfect.
So it's
Perfect.
so good. It's so good. So on point. Perfect.
Well, if I sweat through multiple shirts, I might have to have it. So
Well, this is outside, but it is again August in Missouri. So who knows?
we don't know. We don't know.
We'll get there a little early. Don't park the car too far away, and we'll just have a boatload of shirts there. So if we need
Yes.
to, we'll just go back.
Yeah, I'll just bring a backpack full of shirts.
Every match you change your shirt, and then whoever watches it on independent wrestling TV is like, that guy over in the corner. It's the same person, but he's a different shirt on for every match. That would actually be freaking hilarious.
That would be
I'm just
funny,
saying.
just to do it just as a gimmick type thing.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking of that, again, everybody, we actually somehow, some way don't understand this. We still happen to have our 2 extra tickets that we got for Journey Pro still available. So if you have not bought them, as of right now.
Time of recording. Wednesday at around 10:30 Central Standard Time.
They had 8 tickets left. So with ours, that's 10 tickets. So if you are wanting to go, just hit us up. We're not going to mark them up on you. We're not going to do dick moves like that. Just DM us, and they're yours. I mean, pretty simple. First come, first serve, and you get to watch some amazing wrestling. You get to see freaking Matt and Mike Seidel against the besties in the world. You get to see Jeremy Wyatt. Hopefully, one of 2 things of either doing a lion tamer or tell me to fuck off. And then we have Suge D and Everett Connors, which is going to steal the show. And now we get to see our Howlets going against Thumbs and Buns, baby.
Return of the Howlets. And there's supposed to be another big surprise. And we're going to try and pry that out. So we have scheduled coming up here in the next few days here. We have an interview. We did an interview before 78 Weeks Later with one of the owners, promoters,
Co-founders.
whatever,
Sure. Yeah.
co-creator of Journey Pro, Walter. And now this month we're doing an interview which we're going to release next Tuesday on next Tuesday's podcast with the other creator, owner, promoter, whatever, big guy, DJ. So, so we'll pry him. We'll pry him for details. We won't get any, but we'll try to get them.
Absolutely.
But there's supposed to be another big surprise, a big name. So I don't know who it could be. I mean, you're talking about August 28th there. I don't know. I mean, it's conceivable it could be Ruby Soho, Ruby, but we don't know.
Could be. I mean, could be Danhausen.
Oh,
That's a nice photo op there.
That was a nice photo op.
But anyway, we'll figure it out. And if you guys have any questions you want us to ask, like I know we're gonna do our impossible game as we did last time with Walter, but if there are any questions that you think we should ask DJ, just put it down in the comments on this or message us on Twitter. And you know what? If they're awesome, we'll do it. If they're not awesome, we'll probably still do it. Like it's just one of those things. Like whatever, just
We have
fire
no
away.
shame.
Yeah, I have zero shame. So yes, please give us a comment on there, and while you're at it, give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already done that.
So yeah, we will definitely like get that out. Like I said, so that'll be released on next Tuesday's podcast. We'll do a little abridged addition to it as well. We're going to talk about Impact that's coming up here, and if there's any news or going on, we'll touch base on some stuff. We'll give you the numbers of everything, but we're just going to tack that on. The main media next Tuesday is definitely going to be our interview with DJ. It should be a lot of fun interview. We've talked to DJ a lot in person, like at these shows, both before COVID and then at 78 Weeks Later. We talked to him quite a bit afterwards, and so it'd be nice to kind of get him on here. So, him and Walter are a great team. They work together. They put on great shows, and we can't say enough good things about it. So, look forward to that coming up. All right, so AEW Dynamite was last night, but before we get to that, let's go over NXT. So,
Let's do it.
NXT, this show may have been the last of a dying breed as far as NXT goes. Because everybody, if you're not aware, there's talk that those in charge, and by those in charge, I do mean Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis, and Nick Khan, want to make NXT just a farm system, basically, for top-tier talent for the main roster. Gutted of what it is, basically. Be that as it may, this is still kind of how they're going on here. So this show was a lot of build for TakeOver. So TakeOver is happening on Sunday. So it's interesting this year, and I'm not 100% sure why this happened. I can't remember. I saw somewhere the reasoning, but SummerSlam is on a Saturday this year, the 21st. And then TakeOver's on the Sunday, on the 22nd. I don't know, but that's the way it is. So everything's building up for TakeOver 36 quite a bit. Now, real fast, before I get into the actual show, the interesting headline that I saw here, well, not really interesting when you think about it, but they released what the numbers were for this. Now, it was back on their normal network, on USA Network, not competing against the Olympics, not getting buried by the Olympics. And
Wait. I thought Vince McMahon only buries them.
Well, now he does.
Oh, okay.
It was the Olympics did that a little bit for him for a couple weeks.
They sure shit did.
They were at 5:20 on the dot both of the past 2 weeks. Well, this past weeks though, Tuesday's show 7:51. Which, yeah, they're going to go back up, but they went up quite a bit. And here's an interesting thing. So before they moved to Sci-Fi for the Olympics, for these taped episodes, they were at 7:09 and then 7:05 before that. And then they were mid 600s. The last time they were this high was back on May 4th when they were at 761.
Wow, it's been a minute.
It's been a big minute. It's been, that was a month after the last TakeOver. So, and the last, so May 4th was, fourth episode after TakeOver, and the fourth episode of them being on Tuesday night. So, for all it's worth about this, NXT is a developmental brand. NXT needs to be this. They need to the numbers say otherwise, Vince. I'm just saying, But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, there also was an interesting start to the night. So it started with a women's match, and it was supposed to be Ember Moon versus Saray. Ember Moon mysteriously got pulled from that. They said it was that they announced that doctors determined earlier that Ember Moon was unable to compete. That's literally all that they said.
Yeah.
And she gave an odd tweet about it. How she was angry and frustrated and blah blah blah. If you can read, the writing on the wall doesn't look good for Ember's long-term viability, I would say. That's the way this feels to me. I mean, because everybody's getting freaking laid off. So that's my first go-to when something happens. Oh, they're cutting her. She's a short black girl. Of course, Vince doesn't like her. Boom, gone. Whatever. So they had Dakota Kai versus Saray, which technically makes more sense. And if that's the case, good, cool. But once again, I don't feel confident for Ember Moon. Match was fine. It was a good match between the two of them. It did feel a little put together the last second, though, obviously. And I did find it odd because Dakota won. And that ends Saray's undefeated streak.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now, she won, obviously, because it's the build-up for TakeOver, but I mean, why her? Why not put Frankie Monet against Saray? Or, Zoe Stark or something. Zoe Stark would have been fantastic because then you have storyline there, with her trying to be, she's the tag team champion with Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Here's Saray, the former, tag champion over in Stardom with Io, and they're good friends. They speak the same language, and Zoe can't become friends with. I mean, that would have been a fantastic. That's storytelling 101. But of course, they're not going to do that.
No.
So she does that. Then out afterwards comes Raquel Gonzalez. She chases off Dakota and barks in the ring. She's now face apparently. It's overnight she became face. I don't get that. I mean, it's supposed to be Dakota turns face against Raquel.
No,
that's the way this should go.
She went darker heel.
She went darker. So it's heel against darker heel, and the regular heel then becomes the face. It's like
It's dumb.
It is dumb. And it's just Dakota has something to fall back on. She has the former team kick, she can go to a more mature version of that.
Yeah.
I don't see why there's any problem with that, but they're not doing that, and I don't know. They announced the match for TakeOver like everybody expected, but it makes me less excited for it. As I want to see Dakota win the belt. I think she deserves it. She's definitely put her lumps in. I mean, she's got the shit kicked out of her for 3 years solid,
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, but it is what it is. I'm not going to dwell on it. I am going to dwell on the fact that throughout the night we did have Dexter Loomis and Indy Hartwell's first date.
Yep. Which, okay, can we just check the elephant in the room on this? Why have a stipulation match of lover or loser and disregard the outcome of that?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know. They even make mention of that before they go to the vignettes of the date. And I'm just like, well, you just literally said it on TV. And the only person that was speaking truth and honesty like you just did was freaking Wade Barrett of all people. He's right.
Yeah.
Love her or lose her, and he lost. He lost her. That's the freaking point.
Yeah, they're doing the
Apparently not.
They're doing the love
Apparently not.
conquers all.
I mean, I love me some Index.
Same.
I do.
Same.
So I'm not too mad at this, but you're absolutely right. So it starts off with they're in the house, and here comes Dexter, and so Johnny does the dad thing, goes and greets him at the door, and of course Dexter, by the way, during all three of these vignettes throughout the night, doesn't say a word.
Perfect.
And why would he, right? Doesn't say a damn word. Him and Johnny just stand to stare off there. He brought black roses, by the way, too.
Perfect.
So there's that.
Perfect.
And so Indy's getting ready, and Candace is in there with her, and she starts to ask if she has protection. She goes, Now, Indy, I just want to make sure you have protection. She goes, don't you worry about it. I'm a former NXT Women's Champ, as she flexes. I don't need any protection.
So good.
Love me some Indy Hartwell. I really do.
Yeah, she's
So,
came a long
there's
way.
that. But at 1,000%, her future looks bright. Well, until she gets called up to the main roster and buried. It ends with they leave, they go on the date there, and Johnny's like, "It's okay, I have that tracking app on our phone. Let's go, we'll follow her." Like the parental like
Oh,
tracking
yeah.
app.
Yeah.
So,
I have it.
You
Yeah.
know. So anyway, so that was vignette 1. And then you get Jesus Christ, Ilya Dragunov. I don't know why. I always get words I can't say. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Ilya Dragunov was in the CWC.
Yep.
Comes out, does a little promo, greeted by Pete Dunne. And you know what your main event tonight is? Those two.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh.
That's gonna be a good one.
I'll get to this. That's your main event tonight. Then you get LA Knight match against Andre Chase. That was as big of a squash match as you thought it was. It maybe lasted a minute.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter because that's not the point. So afterwards, Ellie's trying to make Cameron spit shine his boots in the middle of the ring, right? And Cameron's kind of begrudgingly going along with all the crap he's been doing. And out comes Ted DiBiase, right? Mm-hmm. And Ted, you can tell he forgot the beginning of his lines there because he fumbled through the first half of this pretty well, which I'll forgive Ted. He's whatever. He's old. He's an old timer. But long and short of it is, he comes out to motivate Grimes, and then he starts to try and get LA Knight to agree to put the title up at Takeover, and LA's like, nope. And finally, he's like, all right, Ted. Here's what I'll do. I've already beat him twice. I could beat him 1,000 times. It doesn't matter. I will put this belt up, give him another shot, which he won't win. And when he doesn't win, here's the stipulation. When he doesn't win, so basically he says starting at Takeover, he's no longer my butler. Is it? He's going to allow him to challenge for the title. And if he doesn't win, Ted DiBiase becomes his butler.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I feel like he's not going to win now.
I think he will. I think it's high time for Cameron Grimes to become a champion in NXT right here at the end so that we get a t-shirt on you. And yes. But anyway, match announced for Takeover. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, $1 million title. If LA Knight wins, Ted DiBiase is his new butler.
Wow. Wow.
Then you had something interesting. So you had a promo for Gigi Dolan.
Yeah.
Who's, for those you don't know, is Priscilla Kelly. And it had, because she basically has been there more or less as an extra, role, or she got squashed a couple times, but whatever. They're pushing her, which I'm all for. So she has serious Priscilla Kelly vibes in it. She does, cutting the heads off, the roses off of the stems and the whole 9 yards. And then she has a match against Amari Miller. And she makes mention that it's about this she's not doing it alone. She comes out with JC Jane, who we've seen wrestle already a few times here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they kind of feel like a mishmash thrown together,
Yeah.
But I'm all for it if Gigi gets a push because I've long liked her. Her indie stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, not just the tampon thing, everything.
Yeah, she did. She did a lot of stuff that is way too vulgar for anything in WWE. She was definitely for it. And yes, the former wife to Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm,
It's good she's getting a push. I really enjoy that. I think it's well deserved for her. So she's getting a push. Awesome. She won, by the way. So, yeah, absolutely. Checking on the date, they're at this fancy Italian restaurant. Indy literally orders half the menu. Anything would you like an appetizer? Absolutely. We do the calamari and this and that and this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Just going to town on it. And then they hear Johnny's voice over what sounds like a speaker. And she looks over, and Candace is walled behind a bunch of menus on a table. So she catches her and sends her off, whatever. So that's going on. Then you have Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly face to face. Okay, so this is interesting. So it's Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly 3 at TakeOver. Everybody on Earth knows that, right? And this is the little summit that he pulls together. He being William Regal, between the two of them, and they have like all these like security guards behind it. Parker Boudreaux made his first TV appearance for Vince McMahon. You get at home just beating it to this beast of a man, right? Who keeps getting more and more tattoos. Like his tattoos are going up now the side of his head. It's weird. I digress. So he announces it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. Sound familiar? It sure does, right? So each of them gets to pick a stipulation, and then he'll pick the third one, and if they need to have a tiebreaker. Sound familiar? It sure does.
Yeah.
So Kyle O'Reilly goes first, and he picks a straight wrestling match.
Shocker.
He wants to prove that he can beat him, whatever, like this. And of course, then Cole spits glorious fire like he always does. Fabulous on the mic. Then he picks a street fight.
Ooh.
Does that sound familiar? It should.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go after each other, whatever, a little bit. They get separated, and then William Regal's yelling at both of them as they're covered by security guards in opposite corners. That if it gets to a third match for a tiebreaker, it will be a steel cage match. It is literally the exact same thing from the Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole 2 out of 3 falls 3 years ago.
The exact same.
Like, straight match, street fight, cage fat. Not even a variance. And that took my excitement level from like, oh, it's going to be great. Oh, they're doing 2 out of 3 falls like they did with Gargano. That's going to be kind of cool. These are the same matches. Like, who wrote this? Who's sitting here with fucking amnesia that whatever? So
Yeah, somebody wrote it 3 years ago.
we say WWE rehashes old ideas, literally.
Yeah.
Odyssey Jones beat Trey Baxter in the first semifinal of the Breakthrough Tournament. That's not a surprise. Odyssey Jones is 6'8", 405 pounds. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Vince's type.
He's been dark matching for Raw and SmackDown. He's been dark matching. Indy's been dark matching. Dakota's been dark matching. This past week he had Keith Lee, and for the past 3 weeks, John Cena's been dark matching.
Yeah, after the show. Yeah.
Right. Interesting, if you ask me. So, Rigo then announces next week's show because they just crammed TakeOver full of a bunch of rehashes. So next week's show is going to have a tag team title match. You're going to have MSK versus Imperium, and you're going to have Kushida versus Strong for the Cruiserweight title. So I'm more excited to see those matches than I am to see, some of the TakeOver matches now, unfortunately. Boa came out and beat Drake Maverick. Drake got sprayed with some vape by Mia Ying. What's her face? I don't even know.
The bad lady.
The creepy ancient demon woman, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they end up with Dexter and Indy's date, where Johnny Gargano is dressed as terribly like one of the waiters and brings the cake for dessert to him. Cake gets thrown in Dexter's face, and it ends with Indy like licking it, wiping it off and licking it. They're going in for a smooch, and boom, zoom in.
So good.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
A lot of this show was not, but then they make up for it because they give us Pete Dunne versus Ilya Dragunov as your main event,
Which is amazing. It was a great match. I watched that match.
It was a fantastic. It was right. You like that strong style,
Love it.
And this was British strong style to a T. I know Ilya's Russian, but he's been over in Britain for several years now, right? So British strong style. If you like British strong style, this was your your holy grail, right? This thing was just unbelievable. It ended with Walter making his first appearance of God knows how long in the CWC. Caused enough of a distraction to Ilya that he ended up losing the match. And then he goes in and just ragdolls him. But Ilya turns it around. So this is a match that I'm probably the most excited for TakeOver. I think that, The women's match should be good. Should still be good. I think at the end of the day, even though it's the exact same thing, Cole and O'Reilly is going to be good series of matches, objectively. But this is the match I'm looking forward to for TakeOver. Dragunov, Walter 2. God, give me more. And I can't believe that this ended the night, too. That this was your crown jewel of the night. So there you go. That was NXT. Last thing I want to note about it is apparently it is reported by a Twitter account, WrestleVotes, that the mood is an interesting one as tensions are high. Quote, the mood at the PC today ahead of tonight's NXT show. Ooh, boy, tensions running high to say the least. And then it went into a little more detail about it, but yeah, you could tell people are like all the stuff that's been kind of rumored and reported. It's obviously weighing on those in charge and the talents and all that. So.
Yeah, it's
a shame.
Not a good place right now. And here's the thing too, if they go full blown WWE, I'm no longer gonna watch because we quit watching WWE for a reason. You know, it's the same damn matches.
Not good.
Every same night. The product's not good. They have amazing wrestlers, and they just waste it on terrible storylines and terrible, like, it's just terrible, you know, and things that just don't make sense. And NXT is starting to fall in that pattern a little bit.
It's starting to, yes.
And here's my thing. Adam Cole's gone, I'm gone. Like, that's where I'm at. So this might be my last TakeOver I watch.
I mean, it very well could be. Let's be honest. It very well could be that this is the last hurrah, and then they repackage it after TakeOver when Cole's gone. Whether that means Cole accepted the deal with Vince McMahon, taking a shitload of money to go to Raw or SmackDown, or we see him on the Dynamite after All Out, right? Either or, I have a strong feeling that Cole's not going to be there anymore after TakeOver. I think the show is going to be completely different after TakeOver, and I don't know how long I'll stay with it.
Yeah, I
mean, they still have Io Shirai. They still got
for now.
They got a lot of good stuff. Yeah, that's another thing too. You never know. I mean,
her contract is supposed to be coming up next year. Pete Dunne's is supposed to be coming up after TakeOver. There's no
right, same as Cole.
No signs if he's signing or not. They have. They've released half of their best damn talent they had out there. Bronson Reed was so over with the fans, and you let him go.
Yeah.
You know, and Bobby Fish, I mean, he was a part of Undisputed Era. You broke up Undisputed Era for no damn reason. You still could have had Cole versus O'Reilly, but you could have had the Undisputed Era still under Cole or still under O'Reilly. Like, it could have went that way. And
you had two guys that you literally just threw off to the side, and one of them you half-assed, put in a different faction. It's kind of floating there. It's strong.
It's not even existing anymore. He's the only member of Diamond Mine now.
Diamond Mine is him and Malcolm Bivens.
Like, come on, man.
Which is like, so Diamond Mine is strong with a manager.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Fucking terrible.
But yeah, and you have all this stuff, and you took the belts off of legitimate tag teams for the women, and you put it on Io, which I mean, I love me some Io Shirai.
Yeah,
I love Io Shirai. And Zoe Stark I got big hopes for. I think she's got a hell of a future in wrestling.
Yeah,
but I don't get this, and when we haven't seen them since they won the belts either, other than a couple little vignettes here and there about them trying to be Zoe trying to be her friend. It's just like that's your. Okay, I mean, you had legitimate women's tag teams that you were pushing here, and then that's now gone. Frankie Monet's, been in 2 matches.
Yeah,
she's
that's
been
it.
here.
That's it.
There's a thing going on, so it's like that's more story than it is substance.
Yeah. And where's
so the
where's MSK been? I haven't seen him in
they
weeks.
they had a vignette where they were making fun of Imperium this week. That was it.
That's it. Like,
I mean, yeah. This week you had no legato, right? You had a short little thing, a little pre-taped, promo for Hit Row as well. I mean, it's starting to feel, to your point there, starting to feel they're doing the same thing that Raw and SmackDown already are, they're getting to the same cadence, the same sort of pattern. And that's what troubles me. Because NXT always was WWE's indie, right? It was their indie. It was a different thing. It was really that first, if you don't like what's on Raw and SmackDown, here's a mainstream alternative for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then
And now it doesn't. Now it's feeling less and less every week. I should say that.
it's just the people who have Vince's ear right now are destroying it. And it's only a matter of time before Shawn Michaels and Triple H have enough, and they can go and just retire. They don't have to do all this stuff. They don't.
Well, Triple H is, he's married in the family now, so he'll always be there.
He
somewhat.
could do like Shane and just go off and do his own thing for a while.
All right, Shane took a job on the board of directors of like some other company, some that does like electric vehicle investment firm or something, like a venture capitalist. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I fully expect that if it does go that way, I think you will see both of them definitely do something different. For Michaels, that might mean F it, just hang out in Texas, just do appearances and guest spots here and there, or whatever. Right? It's time to retire. And for Triple H, he might move back into more of the business side of things, kind of bury himself behind an office door in Stanford, which is fine. It really is. But of everything going on here in the past few years, he by far is the best suited. If you're not gonna give Paul Heyman more than a single night to run a show, he had one night where he was in charge. Where they let him go, he's now in charge of Raw. He got to run it for one night, and then that was it. If you're not gonna let him do it, Triple H is definitely the only other one there that can put through a show, and that's unfortunate because I know there are marks out there. We see them all the time on Twitter and online on the IWC, right? And oh my God, Roman Reigns is the greatest. They're agreeing with his whole shtick, which by the way is kayfabe as hell. When Roman Reigns talking about he's the best that's ever performed, best champion that's ever lived in the entirety of all of that's in line with this character. And they're buying hook, line, and sinker, and just going to town with it. And if AEW, oh my God, I can't wait until AEW folds. It's just I'm like, first of all, why you hate? Who cares about another company? But I don't know. There are people that legitimately eat this thing up, and I don't get it. I don't get it because it's just I'm losing it, and NXT's starting to feel like that. So we'll see what happens. But that was NXT for the week.
Yeah, it was something.
It was something. Yeah. Let's talk about something else. How about that? Let's talk about AEW.
All right, let's talk about Rampage. Dynamite.
Yeah.
So, you know me. I'm a big AEW mark because they've been on fire lately. Mm-hmm. This is the first miss, but I think it was a calculated miss, and it makes some sense. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt somewhat.
To be fair. If the bar is up here, you're not going to hit that bar every time. There's no way. So you can't. I think that you also got to kind of bring it bar. It's like yes. Let's temper a little bit because you can't have that high of an expectation. You'll never hit it all the time.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. It was still a good show. It wasn't a great show by any stretch of imagination. It had some really great spots in it. But overall, it was just a good show. It wasn't a great show. But that's the thing. We're so used. They've spoiled us. Since they've been on the road, it's been great show, great show, great show. Or great show, fantastic show, great show. Right. It's been saying. So it's like, oh, they did a good show. So you're just like, oh.
I know. It's like
thanks for the good wrestling. But
this is still better than NXT this week. It was definitely probably better than Raw and SmackDown. We wouldn't know. We didn't watch that crap.
Yeah.
Impact's been pretty good lately, but it's better than So it was still probably the best that's been happening in the past week. Yeah. But once again, standards.
Yes, they've spoiled us, and this is kind of coming back to earth a little bit. So this one did not and I repeat, did not start with a match. It started with a promo. That's the first time they've ever done that I can remember.
I saw that happening, and I thought to myself as I'm sitting there on my bike, watching this, and I'm like, I bet you Jamie's shitting his pants right now.
I'm like, what's going on? So is MJF basically saying, Chris Jericho's chasing redemption. He's done all these amazing things, and in order to get to his fifth labor, which is him, which I thought they'd have 5 labors to get to him, but whatever.
That's what I thought it was too, but
yeah,
I think there's reasons for that coming up here in a week and a half. But anyway.
Yeah, then Wardlow's there, and it's like, Wardlow's going to beat him, and then he basically just talks to Wardlow. He's like, you better win. You better do this, not like Cody and whatever. Like, he was kind
Cody
of
in the cage.
Yeah, and then he crushes the apple that MJF was eating. So whatever. So they set the tone for the later match tonight of Wardlow versus MJF.
That's the main event tonight.
Yeah, that's the main event.
That's the main event.
But it does. Okay, so I'm going to have to say this. The first match of the night was by far the match of the night. And
I wouldn't say by far. There's another match I'm thinking of that was pretty damn good. But it was, in my opinion, the best match of the night. Yes.
So it was a trios match of soon-to-be in Kansas City, the Seidel brothers. Nice little plug there. And Dante Martin, which we're going to come back to him.
Yeah. Put a pin in him because I have things to say.
The internet had a lot of things to say as well.
I imagine.
And then the Elite with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, accompanied by their young boy, Brand Cutler. And, of course, Don Callis was going over to commentary. So, which I thought was really funny. As soon as Don Callis sat down, he's like, oh, it's a 6-man announce team. And all are like, what do you mean? There's 4 of us. Like, I thought that was just kind of funny. And of course, Don didn't answer that. So appreciate that.
Don is great. Don is great on commentary, especially with them.
Oh,
I mean, talking about how now they're in Pittsburgh, mind you. Okay,
yes.
And so he's talking about how finally it's good these people can see a real championship team. And then JR is like, well, what about the Steelers? The Penguins. And he goes, I have no idea what those are. It's just like, love you, Don.
Perfection.
I love you.
Yeah, he's just thinking of the Pirates, So it's like, don't do that to him.
Yeah, it's true.
So this match was 100,000 and million% Dante Martin.
Dante Martin, man.
That's it.
He is.
Like,
I can't wait to see when his brother comes back when he gets fully healthy because the things he did are just not humanly possible. I mean,
the air he got, the moves he
so
did.
ridiculous.
Like there was one of his moves. I know we can get into moves, but he was going up to do a drop kick, and he touched him with a drop kick, and then went up, and I swear he floated in air for like a half second, and then grabbed Matt Jackson around the neck and did a Hurricane Rana. Like I've never seen anything like that. It was just so silky smooth. And remember, people, he's only 21 now. He just turned 21.
I thought he was just 20.
Well, he was 20 when they signed him a year ago.
I thought they were 19. Okay, touche.
Okay,
I was a year less. I thought he was 19 when they signed him, and now he's 20. Is what I thought.
No,
whatever.
Yeah, so
he's young as shit.
He is
him and his brother
legit
both.
a young buck. But anyway,
I thought of that too. Yes.
So this is okay. Again, we're gonna talk about the difference between AEW and then the other shows. So Impact does a really good job of this. Ring of Honor does a really good job of this. AEW definitely does a good job of this. If they want to showcase somebody in a match, they are going to. And you have big time names in this match of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Like they steal shows. They make great matches. But
the best wrestler in the world, and
But they weren't the star of the match. They rose him up, and legit, everybody's talking about Dante Martin right now, and they effing should be, because that's what real talent does. They don't bury the young guys. They show them off in order to set them off because they're doing great, and they're going to be fine if they win or lose a match. It doesn't matter for them. Obviously they still won, but it wasn't like that's the thing. Like,
well, but they still won. That's the thing. They still won.
Yeah, but it wasn't their show.
They still put him over. They still put him over.
Yes, it was.
And not just him, too. The Seidels, like Mike Seidel, getting lots of props from JR, which I love to hear.
Tons. There was an awesome double submission by the Seidels on Matt Jackson.
Oh, that was nice.
Matt Jackson was taking a lot of shit during that match. He was the guinea pig. But it was amazing. I mean, there was just so many just crazy-ass, like, flips and spins.
This was flippy spinny shit for sure.
Times
it really
1,000. It was amazing. But
Dante Martin, man. He's my
yeah, but again, the Bucks and Omega find a way to win. But this match was the Dante Martin show, and it should have been. We saw flashes of it before, and now
he's got. I mean, I'm interested to see what it's like when his brother comes back. You know, because brother been out. ACL was ACL or something like that.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, ACL, MCL, knee stuff, right? You know, that takes a while to get back. And he's this is top flight. That's what they were. You know, they're flippy spinny shit, right? And it'd be interesting to see how long it takes for him to get back into form to match up, because Dante's been, especially in the last few months here, he's been rolling. And he's bulked up a little bit too. He's not quite so wiry as he was before.
Wiry.
You know,
Wiry.
So it'd be interesting to see. But we've waxed poetic a lot about, you know, the future of wrestling, you know, the pillars that are MJF and, you know, Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy. And, you know, you could talk about the young tag teams like we have too. We talk about, you know, Private Party. We talk about, you know, the Acclaimed, who for the next couple months, not really happening. Max Caster did get suspended for his just insane rap. He's got to go to sensitivity training, I read too, before he comes back.
Wow.
Suspended without pay, and he has to do required sensitivity training. I mean, he talked about one of the ring attendant, basically, you know, the manager, you know, Julia Hart, talked about her vagina, Duke Lacrosse with the gang rape, and Simone Biles at a very inopportune time. So, especially the Duke one, the Duke team one was just dirty. But but the Acclaimed, you know, it's just a suspension. He'll be back, whatever. But Top Flight's another one too. You know, this. If you want to take it back to probably the best tag team feud of all time, which I have before, you know, where you have, you know, the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian versus, you know, the Hardy Boys. You know, and I've said that the Acclaim remind me of a young-ish Dudleys, right? They got that. The Mike skills and the bruiser mentality, they got that. Mm-hmm. Top Flight is definitely the Hardy Boys, because they are just flippy spinning shit out of the wazoo. So
yeah. Edge and Christian.
I'm excited
up for
to
grabs,
see
ladies and gentlemen. Edge and Christian are up for grabs.
Who knows? Who knows? You know, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. So that was, yes, Dante Martin.
And
we could talk about him for hours. We're not going to.
Yeah, and again, like the internet, we were all buzzing, but also the live crowd was going bonkers for him. Yes. So keep him going. I bet we'll see a lot more of him on Dynamite and Rampage. So right after that, Don Callis comes out and he's talking. He cuts a nasty promo on Pittsburgh, saying that they've never seen a champion like the Elite in their lives, and they are just he's going to town.
Right.
Then here,
getting that cheap heat, but still.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then here comes Christian Cage, which also it was announced right then that Christian Cage is going to be facing Kenny Omega All Out, and you know who didn't like that? Everybody. Like the crowd did not like that.
I was gonna ask you how you liked that.
It hurt my soul. But then I think they redeemed it and they left a window open, and that's where I'm gonna go with this. So I think Mark Stradamus is still right. I do. So they say that, you know, that match is gonna happen, but when Cage comes out, he calls Callis calls Cage a Stanford stooge. I wrote that down. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Right.
But then like Cage gets in there and Callis reminds everybody that he's challenging him at All Out. And that's when everybody's like, "What?"
Oh,
boo.
But you missed it. He got the cheap heat. You know, Christian Cage gets the cheap pop.
Oh yeah.
That's where he's
like, he goes, why don't you shut up, you carny piece of shit? And he's like, wait, well, since we're here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Yeah, I wish he did that. He's like, you Kearney Jagoff, and people just they got Jagoff freaking
started a
chant,
Jagoff chant, so
which
that
I
was
thought
always nice.
great. Which I guess that's a term of endearment in Pittsburgh.
That's what they say in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's not. So it's very much a localized thing. Jagoff.
Yeah. So Callis, they go all that, and then Cage basically is like, also, sorry, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are out there with him. Sorry, I forgot to call that out. But
Right.
But Cage goes, it was also brought up to my attention that you have more than one title. And I was talking with Tony and Scott D'Amore, and you're going to defend the Impact title in Pittsburgh on Friday Night Rampage for the very first match in Rampage history.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. So Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the Impact Championship. Very first match in Rampage history on Friday in Pittsburgh.
Now, here's this. I don't want to dwell on this first, third of the show completely, but lots of stuff to unpack from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that he will drop the Impact title to Christian, a former TNA or Impact world champion, by the way? I think it's a multiple-time world champion over in TNA. But regardless, do you think he would drop him to that as a way of writing him off of Impact and back into bigger feuds or different feuds continuously, CM Punk, in AEW?
So I think there's one of two possible scenarios with this.
Okay.
So Christian wins the Impact Championship Friday.
Right.
And then they set up for those two to face off belt for belt at All Out. Because then it makes for a better story between those two, and it creates some buzz around that put together match at the last second.
I mean, this match doesn't feel right for the biggest pay-per-view of the year. It really doesn't.
No.
I don't have a problem with him challenging for the match, like I said last week or week, whatever it was. But this is something you should do on like next week's Dynamite, or or like maybe next week's Rampage.
Maybe Full Gear. Full Gear. It makes more sense.
But he. Okay, I hear you, but Christian is undefeated.
Yeah.
Like it or not, he is undefeated. He is the number one contender.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna stay true to your ethos that wins and losses matter, he needs to get a title shot. I don't feel like you have to do it at the biggest event of the year when, to be fair, Christian, as much as I do like him, is not a main eventer. He's a second tier.
Yeah.
He's high mid card. He's a high mid card guy.
Yeah.
Like the pre-main event is where I'd max him out at this stage in his life.
Yeah.
Back when he was in TNA, absolutely. I loved his character in TNA. It was great.
Yeah. So then scenario number 2.
What's that? Yeah, it's here too.
Scenario 2. He wins the Impact Championship, as in Kenny Omega retains. Sorry, Kenny Omega retains.
Okay, I was like, what did you just say?
Okay,
yeah.
so Kenny Omega retains, and the Elite start to come out and beat up on Christian, and of course that'll make Jurassic Express come out, and then here comes Adam Hangman Page, and he comes to assist them, and then you have Kenny saying, you don't deserve a shot at All Out anymore since I've already beat you. And then, unfortunately, you have a triple threat.
I mean, I'd rather see Christian Cage and Kenny Omega straight up 1-1.
Yeah, or there is this third scenario to the one you said, that Christian wins the Impact Championship and he goes off and does his own thing, but it still lingers out there with All Out. So there has to be something that happens there with All Out, because either they fake an injury, something like that gives Hangman the spot again. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, they got to do Hangman Omega for the belt. There's no other answer, and the crowd.
I'm telling you that was scrapped. It was said that was scrapped. I think that's getting pushed back to Full Gear. That's my belief. or maybe even Revolution.
Oh, the crowd wants it now.
I know. We're going to be in the crowd and you want to see it, and I do too. I know this. I think it makes sense now. You've got everything aligning, all this stuff. This is your WrestleMania of the year. This is the perfect. Yes, I am with you. There may still be an out for that, but I don't know. To me, it feels like this is pretty solid. You know, they come out and flat out say, announced for All Out, these two. Now, here's the funny thing. Is there any other matches announced for All Out?
Just one.
That's the one part that I find odd.
Yeah, the Casino Battle Royale is the only thing that's been announced.
Which is whatever. You know, we know about that. That's when we're gonna get to see Ruby. Hey, Ruby. I didn't do one on Tuesday, so I had to make sure I at least got two in here. I felt terrible after that. As I was editing, I was like, "Son of a bitch, JJ, how could you not shout out Ruby?" Now she's never gonna say hey to you. I don't know. I feel. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited to see what happens with the Impact because I feel of all the titles, that's the one that should go. I think
it's
feel
AAA would be the one that needs to go first.
Well, the problem with AAA is they do so few shows right now.
That's the thing, and Mexico is not exactly a good place to go do anything because they are COVID hotbed.
America's a COVID hotbed right now.
Fair. They're worse than us.
Especially Florida. I mean,
yeah.
Shit. What was it? Ring of Honor moved their show from Florida to Philly because they're like, no, let's get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. They don't do a ton of shows, so I figure having a big draw like Kenny Omega helps them. Whereas Impact has the names and has the people. Kenny was good to get eyes on it. Has that subsided a little bit, though, looking at the ratings? I think so. And we'll talk more about Impact later on in this show because there was more stuff that's interesting on that front. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's see how all that plays out. If you guys have thoughts or comments on it, please let us know. I want to hear what you think I have to say about that. Also, Jungle Boy, as they're walking out, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Because they're also the number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships, the Jurassic Express. They're like, oh, we also talked to Tony as well, and you, Young Bucks, have a match against us next week on Dynamite for the tag team belts.
That came out of nowhere. It was like, okay.
It felt like it kind of got thrown in there. Like they forgot about it. Like it
did.
legit was like they're walking away like, oh shit, we forgot to do that too. Like that's what it felt like. It was kind of
right. Maybe that's why Kenny Omega kept trying to like disrupt the music because we had forgot our cue. Because it was anyway. It was a little rocky at the end.
Yeah.
It is.
Then we had an awesome video package for Malachi Black. He was just
so
reflecting on his win over Cody. And the thing is like, you know, this day and age, you know, he said he did exactly what he said he did. And nowadays, like if people do that, they're considered a fool. And he's like, no, you're the fools. And he's like, I feel bad for anybody in front of me, you know, that I choose. It was just so good.
I mean, he's one of the best in the world right now. Let's be honest. So
then God's favorite champion had his own little video package as well. He is
the Redeemer.
He's going to be on Rampage, so we are going to have 3 title defenses on Rampage, and he is going against none other than
This is great.
The legend, the living legend of Fuego del Sol, who cannot be
Back
killed
from
by
the
fire.
dead.
Cannot be killed by fire.
Not be killed by fire, QT.
So good, yeah, because QT killed him.
We're pulling in internet references here into continuity. It's great. But tell them about the stipulation, though, because that's even better.
So if...
Not only is it a title match.
Not only is it a title match, but if Fuego does win, he gets a contract.
Unbelievable. He's not going to win, but it's
I know.
great.
It's so good because Fuego is so over. It hurts because people want him to win so much. The master of the Tornado DDT.
Absolutely. I called him earlier today. I called him the this generation's 1, 2, 3 kid is what he really feels like.
100%.
Oh, it's so good. Interestingly enough, there was a person who's been tweeting a lot during wrestling shows. That person goes by the name of Jonah. You might have known him as Bronson Reed before.
Oh, yeah.
And
You talk about this tweet.
yes, I am.
Okay.
So he tweeted out today a list of words. Grinding and violence every match, every moment is reality of ... course. But the way he laid it out on Twitter is that it was all vertical. So one word except for the last two on a single line. And the capitalized letter of each line, if you could read up and down, goes, "Give me Miro."
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I will.
Yes, please. For all.
I want to see that match yesterday.
I
still don't think he's. I still don't see him. I still see him as better. I'll stick by my claim and your claim as well. New Japan first, Impact second for Destination.
Yes.
But with interpromotional, the Forbidden Door, if you would, Miro versus Bronson.
And can we all agree though that this is the Miro that we all have always wanted and hoped? Like Rusev, everything. This is the best version of him. I love Miro. Like his new shirt's badass. He's badass. His wife is badass. Like his god.
I mean, you look
badass.
You look back on it, Mira or Rusev was basically a PG version of this.
Yes, as
He
best,
was like
yeah.
he was like the edited version. He's like the this is the rap album here. This is the Chronic, okay? And then Rusev was the Chronic without the sticker on the front, right? It was the radio edit, you know.
Well said.
That's what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, we are getting it raw from him right now, and I love it. So, all right. So next we have Daniel Garcia.
Baby, I like it raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
So next we have Daniel Garcia, who's going to be at St. Louis Anarchy's next show, with 2.0, our artist formerly known as Everrise, against Darby Allin and Sting.
What did you think about this match?
Eh.
Forget about the antics on the outside between 2.0 and Sting.
It was okay. It was a typical Darby Allin match. He gets the shit
I
kicked out
thought-
and finds a way to win.
I didn't think it was quite as typical. I was actually more impressed with Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, oh yeah.
than I thought I would.
Daniel
be.
Garcia looked good. I like Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, and it was a lot of him beating the shit out of Darby Allin, but it wasn't because they're similar in size, so it wasn't completely a shit, curb stomping. But Daniel Garcia, I've seen him before, and I wasn't like, he's another guy. He actually looked decent in this match. Maybe that's just the way. Maybe that's just Darby.
Yeah,
make anybody look good. But
yeah, Darby is a good worker. He does make people look good. But yeah, this was a good match. Afterwards, there was fighting between 2.0 and Sting and Darby Allin.
it's okay.
And
It's still weird. It's still weird there in AEW.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
And they have a match next Dynamite. Darby Allin and Sting versus 2.0 in a Texas tornado match. That's the way to save Sting. But Sting did do a suplex. I saw that. I'm like, oh, Sting did a move.
Yeah, I mean, for Darby's sake and for Sting's sake, I want to see them do something different. Both of them. Whatever.
Yeah. So after that, they have Death Triangle. They cut a promo on Andrade, and Pac says he'll take care of it. And they're like, well, why don't you face him? So he challenges Andrade to a match at All Out, and I'm here for it.
I'm here for that whenever it is. Absolutely.
Ooh, boy. Cannot wait for that one. Then our second trios match of the night of Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chuck Taylor with Chris Statlander against the Hardy family office of Matt Hardy and Private Party with the Bunny and the Blade, Jack Evans and Angelico. Jack Evans is back all of a sudden. So
This is the first time I see Jack Evans in a long while, so that's good. Good for him.
yes, this match really wasn't all that long. I mean, it was long-ish, but it was decent, back and forth. I Hardy wins because of interference and all that good stuff. So
I mean, you had some good little spots in there. You had a whole Hardy versus Orange Cassidy thing where trying to put his hands in the pocket and he kept deleting him to stop him from doing it. Orange Cassidy, that was nice. Isaiah did his ridiculous scream, final girl yell when he got tossed in the air, and Private Party. I love them too. They're another one that's like the future tag team. That may mention maybe they're Edge and Christian. Sure,
they should be Edge and Christian because they are amazing.
They are very good. So it's good to see them. I'm sorry. I don't mind the hybrid too, but I really don't like Angelico. I don't know, for some reason I just can't stand him.
Yeah, he's just too overly
his look, the weird dancing, his look, I don't know. Something about his style I just don't like it. I'm just like,
right? Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. So
but these guys are great.
Yeah, so after that they showed Chavo and Andrade talking about how Pac's ungrateful and how Andrade should teach him a lesson and teach him who's boss at All Out. So looks like this is going to happen. Yes.
So this is match 2 now for All Out. So this is confirmed.
Confirmed.
So, yeah.
So after that, they did a video promo, Ortiz and Santana discussing their feud with FTR and make it clear it's not over.
They're going to have a bonkers-ass match at All Out.
Yes. We get to be there for it. Maybe it gets up into the crowd to us. I mean, even though we're on the other side. But.
Hey, you never know, though. I mean, we are on an aisle, so it's going to be great.
So after that, they have Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me. Versus Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy. So it was a good match. Like it was a lot better than I was expecting, honestly. Because there were some really cool spots where Nyla was doing a move in the corner, and Chris Statlander was able to basically do a handstand out of it, and to which Nyla does a spear while she's doing a handstand, which ripped.
Nyla was gonna do her knee off the top rope.
That's right,
and then she props herself up, and that's when she got off the top rope and speared.
Yeah. Then there's a really nice Statlander pendulum moonsault off of the apron.
Yep,
it looked really good there. Then the baddest thing was, and I tweeted about this. Nyla Rose was in the corner. Freaking Chris Statlander was able to get her up and powerbomb her.
I mean, if you follow her on social media, Statlander, that is, her Instagram story is a lot of her working out in her garage gym, that her and Caleb with a K have at their house. And oh boy, gains are definitely proving themselves because Nyla Rose is not a small woman.
I said there's only 2 women in AEW that could do that. That's her and Jade Cargill. That's it. I don't think there's another woman on the roster that could do it.
No.
And then she hits the area 451. No. 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Chris Statlander. She is still undefeated since coming back from injury. She is going to be a number 1 contender very soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you think, because we were clamoring for, once again, and maybe this is the years of WWE, long booking for a single show every year, right?
Yeah.
In us. Do you think it's going to be her going against Britt at All Out rather than Thunder Rosa like we want? I think it's looking that way.
Well, both of them have ridiculous numbers. So here's the thing. It's going to come down to, I'm hoping they're thinking this way. Tony Khan and them have to be thinking, either we give everybody Hangman versus Omega, or we give everybody Britt Thunder Rosa 3.
I'm with you there. As
long as I get one
we
of
gotta
those,
have one
I
of
will
those.
be happy. I just have to have one. If I don't get either, I might get a little pissed and a little butthurt.
I mean, I'm not saying that Statlander and Britt would be bad. Statlander, especially if she came back from injury and she's really been, like I said, she's been working out and she's been really working on her stuff, and it shows, right?
Oh, JR was all over it too. Like, she's lost a bunch of weight. She's quicker than a hiccup. He did all his catchphrases.
I know. tougher than shoe leather. I don't know though, but just with Thunder Rosa there, see, nothing to me would be better than to end. And I think this would be interesting, but they won't do it. I know they won't do it. They won't end Rampage with Britt winning and then Thunder Rosa coming out because it's Britt's hometown.
But they should. That's why they
That
should,
would-
because it is her
I mean,
hometown.
Yeah, and would Thunder Rosa get the big pop? We believe so.
Oh yeah.
I think they both would. And here's the thing: is I don't think that there's like necessarily an evil in that. Yes, Britt's the heel, Rosa's the face. Sure, great, but there's not a good and bad necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I'd like to see happen. But I digress.
Yeah. So after this match, they cut to the Young Bucks doing, they're talking about how great they are, and they showed everyone why they're elite and they're the best of all time, and they brag, blah blah blah, and then they're like, oh, it's like making a layup. It's so easy. It's like making a layup. So Nick goes up for a layup, and here comes Luchasaurus just out of nowhere, and just bam, just blocks it, and it's so good. And then he's just like he does his the finger wag, Matumbo, and he's like, not in my house. It's like, oh my god,
no.
not in my house. So
It was good.
giving a little bit more fuel to that. I think that's more of a redemption for the oops earlier.
I mean, the match is going to be good. It's just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we know it's going to be a bonkers show. But all right, so we get arguably the best promo of the night.
100%. Malachi Black was great. Miro was fantastic, but this was what you expect. This is what we needed. Yes.
So you get Britt Baker doing an interview with Tony Schiavone in her hometown of Britsburg. And yep, with the Brit terrible towels, which I think they were only I bet you could probably find them online somewhere, or they'll be on
probably,
AEW
but I'm not
soon.
going to get that. I mean, they were basically the Britsburg T-shirt printed on a towel.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So she gets an extremely warm welcome, as anybody would say.
I mean, comes out in it's a Steelers themed jacket with a Pirates logo on one shoulder and a Penguins logo on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Last time they were in Pittsburgh, she came out with Steely McBeam, the Steelers mascot. So
Yeah,
play to your audience, right? Let's
that's what she was
come
a
on.
face. But
Doesn't matter.
But Tony Schiavone asked her, like, how would she like to comment on the meteoric rise of Red Velvet, and she refused to answer that because she's always been number one since day one, and she's the baddest bitch on the block, and people just ate it up like cake, man. Like, oh my god, yes, want more of that, and then she's like, it's been a rough year for us, like, talk about Pittsburgh, and she's like, we haven't had championships, we all know that, but this represents hope, and she holds up her belt, and everyone's like, oh my god, yeah,
that was so good. It was so good.
and then it was really good. Then after that, Red Velvet tries to attack her. They start to rumble a little bit. They're setting up for their match on Friday to the main event of Rampage. So that's gonna be awesome.
And this whole show, if you notice the recurring theme here, we talk about the low bar or high bar, and this and that. The whole show felt like a prep or a 2-hour commercial, if you would, for Rampage. 100%. Now that's overstating it by a ton. This is a very good show. Just not the same, because I think they were setting up so much. I think they've got so many irons in the fire with their new show. They got to make sure it works, right? And Friday night's a weird night to bet on because typically Friday TV is one of the lowest viewed nights of the week, right? In general.
I bet it won't be in 2 weeks.
We'll see. Well, I do know this. So AEW did also announce that there's 6 confirmed official AEW sanctioned watch parties. These are at bars in Pittsburgh, Chicago, and New York. So 2 of them locally in the south. Looks like they're both on the south side in Pittsburgh. You have 2 in Chicago, 1 in Lincoln Park, 1 in off of Kinsey, and then 2 other ones in New York. So doing what they can to make sure that Rampage is successful. So, but it felt a lot like that throughout the night, that this is all trying to prop up Rampage, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So after this, there's a quick video promo of Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. I'm already over that. I don't want anything to do with that. Then we get to one hell of a good match. Really good match.
This is what I was saying when you talked about the first match of the night. I'm like, I don't know. This match was damn good.
So this is for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. This is the Good Brothers versus the Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, is what I have recently coined them as, Evil Stuno. So I think it's
that's your latest fetch. Okay, go for it. Try and make that a thing.
It is. It's so fetch. Anyway, so this match was pretty damn good. And this match also reminded me of how damn underratedly athletic Stu Grayson is. Like,
don't ever forget that. Every time you see him, it's like JR, he just forgets. It's like, holy shit, this guy. Yes.
yeah, because we don't see him enough.
So good.
He is so amazing. Like, it honestly, like, if you could name two wrestlers that really stood out to you on this show, is Dante Martin and Stu Grayson. Plain and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Because, damn, he did all sorts of good stuff. So one of the things I did want to point out, too, is when when the Dark Order came out, only Colt Cabana came out with them. So, again, long-term storytelling. Continuity, yes. Love it, love it, love it.
Because there's a riff, and this is talked about on Being the Elite as well. There's some difference of feelings there for what they should have done with Hangman. Stu and Grayson are doing what he wanted. Colt's always been the wiser statesman, kind of, and so yeah, I was going to mention that. Thank you for knocking that, because that's that continuity.
Which, if you have not watched Being the Elite, do yourself a favor, watch it, because we talked about in the last show, but heartwarming goodness out of that thing. So just yeah. Anyway, so this match was really good. Doc Gallows and Anderson also came out with Brian Cutler. Brian Cutler did not last very long because Frankie Kazarian took care of him and took him to the back to make a true 2-on-2 match.
It was great.
It was really damn good. There was so many times I thought, oh my god, the Dark Order's got this. This is the moment. Dark Order's gonna get gold. Like, they finally get what they longingly deserve, and nope, gets taken from them. Of course, Gallows and Anderson find a way to retain. They do a magic killer on Grayson for the win. They are still your Impact Tag Team Champions.
I mean, they are scheduled for the next Impact pay-per-view to be in a three-way tag defense. So, I mean, there is that.
Yeah.
Plus, and I do want to say, with Scott D'Amore on commentary.
Yes, which I forgot how annoying his voice gets sometimes.
It can be. Oh, that's the whole shtick with him when he was the leader of Team Canada, because he was, definitely that way.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I wanted to circle back to with talking about Impact. So, yes, Scott D'Amore, who's the EVP role of Impact, right? Mm-hmm. This is the Impact Tag Team Championship being defended on Dynamite. The Impact World Champion is the top guy from AEW. He's on the AEW payroll. He's an executive vice president of AEW. He's defending that title on AEW's premiere episode as the first match on the premiere episode on their new show, Rampage. It sure as shit feels a lot like Impact is doing more than just kind of working, or AEW is doing more than just kind of working with Impact. Or am I just being too conspiracy theorist over here?
It kind of feels like a merger's coming.
A merger or something bigger of this. Yeah. Like maybe Tony Khan's bought in part of it. Feels like something's up because there's been little crossovers here and there. But, I mean, the Good Brothers have been basically on every single show, every Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
For the past God knows how long.
Forever.
Kenny Omega, same thing, but he's been champion too. I don't know. And now Kazarian's back and forth on it. It's weird stuff.
Yeah.
One last note about Impact, too. Post-Impact stuff, if you would. I did see a spoiler for next week's Dark. So if you're an avid Dark fan, close your ears. But I know there's avid Dark fans out there. But Kiera Hogan made her AEW debut in a Dark match.
Yeah, we're not gonna say who won, but she made her debut.
I didn't look and see who won. I didn't want to see that, but I did see that she wrestled in her first match, which I'm happy for her. Like we're big fans of Kiera Hogan, so yes.
Yeah, we want to see her do well. So after this, they had a quick video promo of the NWA World Women's Champion Camille hyping up her match against Layla Hirsch. She is emotionless in the face. Like, it was downright scary. Like, she scared me with how little emotion she showed. Like, ooh, serial killer vibes, and I loved it. Like, it was like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, I believe you. Like, I believe you. Like, there is no safety word with you. Like,
yes, please.
Yeah, because she is pretty cute too. She's a beautiful woman, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so then after this, we get QT Marshall in the ring with Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado of the Factory with Tony Schiavone. And just like Mark Stradamus called it, he is not out there to apologize. He's out there to get an apology. He said an apology would be had. And I called that, and he's going to have Tony Schiavone apologize for all the crap he said and everything. So it was dumb. So they get Schiavone's son, they beat him up, he hits a diamond cutter on him, and then out comes Paul White taking off his watch, slowly walking out there. Marshall and them are looking at him, scared poopless, and they push Solo into him. Solo gets chokeslammed by Paul White, so clearly Paul White's getting back in the ring. Don't care.
I mean, I don't care about this whole thing
At all.
The Factory, I liked them for like a split second. Not when they first debuted, but that second week after they debuted, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give them a shot. Nope, I'm done.
Yeah, the only thing I like about the Factory right now is their interactions with Fuego on the vlog on
Sammy Guevara vlog. Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, it's move on. This whole thing is like whatever.
So then after this, we get our main event of the night, the fourth Labor of Jericho, Wardlow versus Chris Jericho. Of course, everybody's singing Judas. Put a pin in that.
That's important.
Yes.
That's an important word.
Yeah, so everybody's all about Judas and all that good stuff. So Jericho and Wardlow go at it. And Wardlow's damn amazing. Like, he just does not get the love he deserves. Because
his moveset's not incredibly deep.
No, that's the thing.
I will say that.
But Homeboy can powerbomb about anybody, and it looks amazing.
Right. And they made reference to that, during the commentary.
There was almost
a
botch.
Appreciated.
Yeah, did you see the almost botch? Yeah. And then they covered it and said, "Oh, he's trying to hurricane around out of it. He powered him back up." I thought, okay, that was nice.
Yeah.
This match, it was okay. It was good.
It was short.
It was. Wardlow did hit an F10, but doesn't go for the pin, which that was really weird to me. Like he had him.
Well,
he had him.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the Labors is that if Chris doesn't pass any of them, he doesn't get a shot at MJF. But MJF is like, and then the reasoning for him not even trying to pin after an F10 was that MJF instructed him to inflict as much damage as he can. And I'm like, well, why don't you just get the fucking win?
Yeah, then it's over. Then do the damage after. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I know that's non-wrestling think there, so that's logic. I get it. But it was weird. You do, like, this is the thing, he's decimated people. I think he beat Jake Hager on that move, didn't he? One time? Like, the first time they've wrestled? Not the whole cage match bullshit, but anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's a point where MJF tries to give his ring to Wardlow. The ref catches him, ejects him from the ringside. While the official's distracted, Jericho hits Wardlow with the bat and nails and the Judas effects. With the bat, nails the Judas effect. I guess I should read my writing a little better for the W. So
words.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Jericho's your winner of the fourth Labor of Jericho. Immediately after, like, It was Sean Spears. Thank you. Sean Spears attacks Jericho, and then Sammy comes out to make the save on that. And then Jake Hager comes out and clears out everybody. And then of course MJF's super pissed. And next week they're gonna face each other finally. But the stipulation is no Judas effect. But not only can he not use the move, he can't come out to the music. He has to come out to dead silence. So these jagoffs can't sing the song.
And that means Houston's going to have a very large karaoke party, I feel, next week.
100%. 100%.
Which is great.
Yes.
Which is going to be great. But I don't know. I'm with you. Like, this should be happening at All Out, right?
Yes.
5 labors to get to him.
So it makes me
You
feel like
scheduled
this
that
match
for
is
All Out. That's the. I don't know. It's a pay. There's irons in the fire. We know. There's 2 matches officially announced for All Out. We're not keen on one of them. Something feels weird. Something just feels off about the Christian Cage match.
And I'm not the only one who thinks that, because the people from Fightful all say it too. Like, they're all right there.
Yeah, I mean, the way it was like Rush announced out of nowhere, and then it's like, wait, what? Hold on, that's not like you guys. Wait a minute, what do you mean? So that feels weird. But then you have 3 matches, because you have the Women's Battle Royal, which is going to be great, and we're going to see Ruby win, of course, and make her debut. And then you've got Andrade versus Pac. Oh God, please, yes, just rock hard, But you don't have anything else, and we think Proud and Powerful versus FTR, right? We know Britt Baker's going to be there.
Yeah.
We don't know against who. But this is MJF Jericho 3. This is it. This is, I don't know. It feels weird that's going to be next week. I think there's a reason for that. I don't think we're going to be done with this. I think there's going to be something weird that happens.
I agree, because this is too good of a story to end on Dynamite. You know what I mean?
They put him through 4 straight weeks. This week, definitely, you can tell he was like, you got to do a short match this week, guys. But a death match against Nick Gage, a real good throwback match against Hoovy, even though it started off kind of but a real good match. He had a match against Spears was stiff. So I don't know. Well,
so that was Dynamite. It was good.
It was Dynamite.
It was a good show. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was.
I would give it a squash fest.
Yeah, same.
I give it right in the middle. I give it a medium-ish, not even right in the middle of that too.
Yeah.
So medium squash fest. Boom.
I was entertained, but was I entertained at the level that they've been producing lately? No, but that's okay. It's still great. Like, it was still a good show. Like, back in the day, WCW Nitro and WWF Raw didn't always have bangers, but they were always a good show. Like, you were entertained, and that's what definitely this was.
I mean, and this is a higher rating than we given any WWE show when we were still doing them, and it's well above most of NXT shows that we do as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. You can't go 100 miles an hour the entire time. You got to breathe every once in a while, right? Or else your legs will explode. So. Well, all right. Well, that's what we got here. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch base on?
No.
Okay. I will end on this then. So, wild speculation because, so this Friday is Rampage, as we all know. We're going to talk about that as well next Tuesday. So we're gonna tape it separate because we're interviewing DJ. We're going to talk to DJ from Journey Pro KC about the upcoming show and about life and everything else in between, right? But we're also going to talk about Impact and Rampage real quick. Rampage is only an hour, so it shouldn't take that long to get through 3 matches, right?
Hopefully.
If they're good enough, maybe. Who knows? But we got that coming up here. And then the following week's Rampage is the United Center show, which Tony Khan was quoted as saying, "I think everybody knows what to expect at the United Center show." End quote. CM Punk was asked about this.
Yes, I
who
watched
was
that
this by?
interview. Yeah.
Yes, Sunday Night Main Event. because he's basically promoting heels on Stars, which looks really damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had Stars. I'll have to look it up on them internets.
Give us a login. Somebody give us a login.
It's just what I need. Someone else's login, right? And then I get but he was asked about, and they were talking about a bunch of different things and this and that and all these things. And then someone asked him if he has plans for the 20th, because that's when the first dance is happening at United Center. And here's what CM Punk had to say. When was that? Let me look at my calendar. What did you say it was? The 20th? I think I might actually be doing a screening. This isn't confirmed yet, so I probably shouldn't blast this out everywhere, but we're talking about doing a screening of episode 3 of Heels at an AMC theater in Chicago. And that's one of the dates that has been proposed, so hope to see everybody there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Dodged that question hardcore and had
perfectly
a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
And in the same way, like Tony Khan, very much. Tony Khan's a very straight shooter. I think everybody knows what to expect on the 20th. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Now, the general consensus seems to be like you were saying, Jamie, that it's going to be him and Darby, because Darby had that very CM Punk-esque promo.
Yes.
I'm not buying that, though. I don't know. I think that knowing CM Punk, if he's going to be back and not just for like a match or a feud, right? If he's going to legitimately be in AEW, I think he wants to start with big. Maybe Kenny Omega, maybe somebody else up high the ladder. That's all my thought.
So, I want to,
I'm not saying Darby isn't on near the top of the ladder. I'm just saying that.
I would agree with you. I would, but I watched the interview and he was very self-reflective, and it was very different for CM Punk. Because he legit was like, I'm long on the tooth, and I'm now more giving back and, helping and all this stuff. I'm like, who is this CM Punk, and what did the last 7 years do to you? Because
probably made him a decent person in the backstage locker room, because I've heard that he wasn't that good in WWE in the locker room.
Yeah, like he was fine in Ring of Honor, but when he went to WWE, he soured hard. But maybe he's finally figured out, maybe I just need to start helping and give people the rub. Like, if Darby's already a star there, but if Darby and Punk go at it, that's a big time rub, and that gets Darby to superstardom.
Sure. But I think herein lies the thing with me with that is it just Darby or is Sting out at the ringside? I don't feel like, here's my thing. I don't think Darby needs Sting at ringside anymore.
Me either.
It made a sense for a good hot minute. I completely understood it for a bit. I loved their cinematic match. I genuinely did. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. I'm over it. I think Darby doesn't need it.
Well,
and
maybe this match on Wednesday is how they get it off, because this is a tag team match. Maybe they
kayfabe injury.
Yeah, kayfabe injury.
I mean, because if there's that, I think that we'll see what happens. I mean, but that's if they can figure something out like that, that could be cool. But once again, you've got possibilities here, and there's so much kind of in doubt or just not really. Just shades of gray around All Out, left and right. Lots of stuff we don't know yet. So
yeah,
I think this is why they're trying to save a lot of this for they've already sold it out, so they don't give a shit about it. There's no more tickets to be had for the son of a bitch, but the TV buys they can do last minute, right? So whatever. All right, we'll get in more into that next week. So we've gone long tonight, but that's okay. We'll be back with you on Tuesday in our interview with DJ, as well as talk about this new Rampage. How was it? What happened? Right? Any title changes? Who knows? As well as talk about Impact, latest goings on there. Next Thursday, we'll be back to talk about AEW again. It's in Houston next week. We got a tag team championship match and some other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Getting ready for that United Center show. So be on the lookout for that. We do have busy ass weekends coming up. Ooh. So this weekend as well is New Japan. I forgot about this. New Japan Resurgence. So that's on Saturday. And then next weekend, not only do we have the first dance United Center show on Friday. Also have Impact's next pay-per-view, Emergence. Stop it. Stop using the same sounding words within a week of each other. Freaking wrestling companies.
Or 3 homecomings in the same week.
I know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Up Down Down has a homecoming that weekend too.
Of course they do.
I think he's just doing it as a troll. But Emergence, those are both on Friday night, and Saturday is SummerSlam. We've bitched enough about WWE. It is still one of the big four, and we do have a fake toy belt, which we have to keep away from Megan the Tyrant in our pay-per-view pick league that we have. She's trying to become the Kenny Omega of Total Spotfest, and I cannot let that happen. Jamie's somewhat complacent because it is his offspring that we're talking about here. So he's kind of, he wants to hold the belt himself, but if he can't, he's like, well, next best thing. I mean, she does live under your roof and doesn't pay rent, so you can,
I know.
you're very much the invisible hand of the Faulkner family there. I swear.
I kind of am.
This whole thing is a work. This whole fucking thing is a work, I swear. So,
I mean, we'll find out next week.
We're gonna find out for sure. So Saturday is the 21st, SummerSlam. We'll be having those picks. Sunday is TakeOver 36. We'll be doing those picks as well. Whatever we can to keep belts away from Megan is what we're gonna try. And then that following week is even more busier. We got Journey Pro on the 28th, and then All Out on the 3rd of September. So next month, there's a lot of stuff we're gonna be talking about. So we'll probably be going long on the podcast in general here. If there's anything specific you guys want us to focus on, or it's like we get consensus from you, the listeners, that we don't give a shit about that, skip over that stuff. Let us know. We're not going to be doing separate pay-per-view shows. We're pretty much only going to do that from moving forward just for AEW, to be honest with you.
And then All Out, we won't be able to do that because we'll be at All Out and we're not going to bring all of our gear.
Right. So it's going to be probably, it would be tough, because it's like, yeah, we could run back to the hotel real fast and do that as soon as it's over, but we're just being real with you. We're probably, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. So for the next little bit here, we're not going to have individualized stuff. So we're going to talk about them a lot more short, especially the WWE stuff, because let's be honest, we don't really care that much anymore. But we still want to at least touch base on it, at least the big four, because that is important. So a lot of stuff coming on here. So next Tuesday, once again, interview with DJ, and we'll talk about Rampage and Impact. So that's all I got. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Jamie, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I have 6 words for you. It's a lot, I know. 6 words.
It's a lot.
Hangman title match at All Out.
Here's hoping. We'll see.
It's hope.
All right, guys. Hope and pray. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.